Yesterday I was cutting onions and I start to cry. I was surprised because normally I cut onions and it doesn't affect me. But yesterday, whoa, it really affected my eyes. I just teared up and started to cry. Now all of a sudden here I'm having my quiet time with God and I realize, why do people not cry with compassion for the poor and needy, street kids, oppressed people? Why? Have you sowed the word of God with tears, like David talks about? Sow the word with tears. The Bible talks a lot about tears. You know, what's in your heart? Out of your heart, your mouth speaks. What is your message for the poor and masses of poor people in your country or city, or other nations, if you're willing to care? So it begins what's in our heart. You know, the second commandment is to love your neighbor. And the guy said, who's my neighbor? And Jesus taught him about the Good Samaritan, showed compassion and care for that man who was beaten and robbed and left to die on the street. That's your neighbor. There's another one in Luke 14, talks about when you give a big party, don't invite your rich neighbor. Go out and find people who cannot repay you. Because what do we normally do? We show love to, it's easy to love those who love you, but it's hard to love those who you don't even know, who don't love you, who can't repay you. So again, back to the tears. Well, I guess what happened, I got close to that onion. I was leaning over and got a little close to it, and then my eyes teared up. Oh my God, you see? If you don't go near to the poor, if you shun them. I've seen people who have cars, nice cars, and they'll go to the market or the palenque and they have a helper, and the helper goes down from the car and buys the vegetables because they're muck to pit. They want the best deal on the veggies and stuff, and so but they don't get out of the car because there's poor people around there. Yeah, and they don't want to go near them. Oh my God, you might get a disease. You know. Oh my God, put your mask on. I mean, it's sad, honestly. I had people laugh at me. I've seen them in their car with their nice aircon, beautiful shiny car, and it's a traffic light, so they stop and they saw me with the poor people. I felt sorry for them. They laughing at me out through their window. I saw them, and I was sitting there on the curb with some homeless people, and in the zone. I felt great. It's the best feeling.